My name is Leah, and my partner Quentin and I are traveling across the Americas by motorcycle, very slowly. We spent the first year crossing North America, Canada to the Arctic Ocean, the United States, and Mexico. After a few months in Guatemala and Belize, we returned to Mexico. We couldn't get enough of this beautiful country. In the last episode, we left the country for a week to renew our visa, which would have expired in the middle of my brother's visit. But we quickly realized that we had probably chosen the worst border for a visa run.
That guy is saying to get in there. If he refuses you, he wants payments, and I wanted to ask him how much. Around 5,000 pesos. So yeah, no.
Like the grumpy guys, he wants payment. So it's 5 a.m. and today we're gonna cross the border from Belize to Mexico. We just spent a week in Belize in the idea to renew our Mexican visa. And we woke up early to have more chances to not see the corrupted guy at the border. Don't know if that's gonna work, but we might have more chances, so we'll try. Virtually, it's hard to talk.
I never refuse.
Only 2 weeks ago, my light bulb exploded.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. Then I went for a new one, and it exploded again. I think it's the humidity. Because of that crack, the humidity gets in that thing.
Thank you, bye! I am so stressed about this border. Okay, we are just out of the immigration and everything went well. I am so relieved we arrived early, so before the corrupted guy that gave us problem last time, and we are in Mexico for 3 months, even more than we were hoping for. Oh la la, look at that, Mexico, I'm so excited! So relieved. Everything went too smooth.
The border crossing that had me so stressed out ended up going smoothly. By arriving before the one guy who hassles all the travelers and having a reservation for the next 3 months, we had no problems. So here we are, back in Mexico, once again. And now, it's time for the second mission, to cross a large part of this huge country to be ready for my brother's arrival, a few thousand kilometers away. We like to take our time and avoid long days on the bike, but I'm afraid that's not going to happen in this episode.
So we're in that part of Mexico where all the roads are just straight and boring, honestly. Can't wait to be back in the mountains.
Okay, so we just arrived in a little town called Escarcega, I think, which is in Campeche. So yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that, but I am so happy about this border crossing, and that went well and smooth and so easy. I was so stressed about it. I was really, really stressed when we crossed that border. I felt a huge weight out of my shoulders, and yeah, I'm super, super relieved, and I'm happy we asked for 3 months, because at first I was thinking maybe we just ask for 2 months, like this. There's less thing to discuss, it's easier, and 3 months they're gonna maybe tickle it. But no, we asked for 3 months, we had 3 months. It was easy. I love borders when there's no corrupt people. So yeah, after that we just had a long ride. My butt hurt, we had a little bit of rain, a little bit of heat. I mean, nothing super interesting. The roads here are not the most sexy. It's straight with no view. I really miss my intercom. Our intercoms are still broken, so we cannot talk, we cannot listen to music. It's just a lot of time to think, which is nice as well, I guess, but a lot of time to think. Yeah, and tonight we are staying in a little hotel, which is very simple, but everything we need, except the kitchen, so we're gonna cook in our stove in the room, which we are not really supposed to do, but I mean, we need to eat, and I don't think there's any vegan restaurants here, so yeah. And tomorrow we have another long ride, yeah, because we have 3 days maybe to cross Mexico and arrive in Oaxaca, because so we have a week technically before my brother arrives, but we also have our 3 days and a half of work, so we will need to stop somewhere and stay, and during the days of work we don't have any time to write. It's usually minimum 10 hours of work per day. So yeah, Quentin is doing some groceries right now, and I'm just gonna edit a little bit more the video that I'm gonna post this weekend. Nothing super sexy. I miss camping. I really miss camping. I don't have much to. I feel like I'm missing some stories for YouTube, you know? There's like the borders were too easy, there's no camping, nothing. It was like, okay, life was easy and a little bit boring today. That's also life on the road. It's not always adventures and troubles. And today that was just a day like that. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, all packed, ready to go.
Welcome to Tabasco!
This glamorous life with all of its highs is only a shell, can't you tell? The underworld and vagabondery is wrong. For an artist it's a lifetime of whimsy and wandering. I don't wanna lose my mind here. I don't wanna lose my mind here. Don't let me lose my mind. me a lullaby. All the king's horses told me a lullaby. Wave me goodbye. All the king's horses and all the king's men. I've tried. I'm not amused. Industry's old and industry's old and confused. All the king's told me a lullaby. All the king's horses and all the king's men. Wave me goodbye. No matter how hard I try, I'm not amused. Industry's old and industry's old and confused.
Oh, I'm thirsty. I have a huge headache at all. Oh, that was rough to do. So we arrive in Coatzacoalcos or something like that, which is a city in Veracruz, so still east of Mexico, and we'll stay there to work for a few days. We have a room in a family house again, good Wi-Fi, everything is nice. The lady is very talkative, like very, very talkative.
A little bit too much.
Yeah, especially she talks very fast. I feel like some people don't understand that when it's not your native language or you're not fluent yet, slower is easier.
I told her, estoy aprendiendo, but nope.
Yeah, I know. She's like, and you ask to repeat it. Have a headache. It was a bit rough, but she was very nice. She was very helpful, but yeah, it was a bit too much. Anyway, we are here now to walk a little bit around Coatzacoalcos. I feel like I'm trying to imitate a bird when I don't think there's much to visit, but we're visiting it because so that we're gonna be a few days in front of the screen, so it's nice to go out and check it out. Otherwise, that was another day of easy / bit boring ride. A bit less boring today, I felt. We crossed some little villages, and I feel like we see a little bit of the Mexico, which is very not touristic.
Yeah, it's noticeable that they're not used to tourists. I feel it's mostly noticeable by the selection that you have in the grocery. It really is.
Yeah, no tofu. When there's no tourist, there is no tofu. Good morning. So we just spent a few days here in Coatzacoalcos, just working. Honestly, we didn't do much else. And now we're getting ready to hit the road. We're packing. We still have 2 days of riding to reach Oaxaca. We were hoping to camp, to be honest. But it's been raining for 3 days straight, heavy rain for hours, and I think we're following the rain more or less, so yeah, we don't want to bet on that, and it is raining way too much to make it fun, so yeah. We have another Airbnb. I really miss camping. I feel like without camping, I don't really travel. Like I feel like now I'm just going from a point A to a point B. I work and I have weekends. I don't feel like I'm on an adventure anymore. I do really miss camping. Anyway, soon the rainy season will be over, hopefully. What else? I think the road will be a little bit more interesting today. We looked at the map and it's not straight. We're gonna have some turns because we are basically next to the Atlantic coast of Mexico and we need to reach the Pacific coast in a few days. So we're crossing like the middle of Mexico, which is mountainous. And I think that will be a little more fun to ride on. So yeah, let's get ready. At least the road is not boring today. It's too many holes and bumps and stuff to be careful with. We're slaloming all the time. I didn't feel it, but I took a few big holes. I think there was one hole, it made me fly. I love Mexico, but wow, the roads are bad. To be very pretty, these mountains, just that, these mountains. It's very, very windy here. So like I have to go slower because the wind is moving the bike. And we just arrived in a town called Ixtepec in Oaxaca after a very nice day of riding. Honestly, that felt good. And the Airbnb is amazing as well. We have the whole house for us because there's no other guests. And it's a very nice house. We're gonna have a beer and probably check out town because tonight is actually Halloween. That gives you an idea of how late I am with the posting of the video. Well, I think this video will be out in a long time. But yeah, tonight is the 31st of October and we're gonna check what's happening in town after the beer and the shower. In that order. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Quentin. Good morning, we're leaving a little Airbnb today. At the end, we didn't do much yesterday. We were feeling a little bit tired and we thought that there would be more options tonight and tomorrow night for El Día de los Muertos. And today is our last day to arrive where we're supposed to meet my brother. So I am very excited, he arrives tomorrow. We just arrived in a town called Teotitlán del Valle, which is about 45 minutes outside of Oaxaca, because this weekend is the weekend of El Día de los Muertos. So it was very expensive to stay in Oaxaca for the week. It was close to $1,000 minimum, which is way too much for us. And here it's more reasonable. And plus we are in Zapotec family. I don't know if that's the English word for that, but Zapoteca, maybe. Who lives from tapestry? Oh, making carpets, traditional carpets, I guess. Anyway, that's very cool to be here. I think tomorrow we'll go into town because my brother is coming tomorrow. So we'll go into town tomorrow to check all the festivities and everything. But tonight we'll have a more traditional Dia de los Muertos. It's the first day of the 2 days of festivities, and yeah, the family builds an altar for the dead members of their family. They have a lot of food to offer to them and alcohol and stuff. So it's nice also to see the traditional way. It feels it's nice. Yeah, I felt it's a nice conclusion from this crossing. And today was such a nice day of riding. The road was beautiful, the weather was perfect. It was very, very nice. I'm so happy to be here as well, to be arrived. It's such a nice view. We're a bit high, so we have a full view on the valley with the sun setting. We have bells from all the churches ringing. It would be nice. It would be nice to stay here in this family, I think. Okay, but anyway, the festivities del Día de los Muertos and my brother coming is for the next video. So I'll see you in the next video. Cheers guys, thank you for watching.